I think Phantom Menace is the best of the three.
I agree with you.
I think Phantom Menace is and a lot of people are like, oh, episode 3 is the best.
People
and I'm like,
hate that
no
opinion
way.
too. And I'm like, I still go back to that one. I'm like, I love that
It's
one.
got the best lightsaber battles, in my opinion, of the prequel.
Hello and welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I am your host tonight. I have one other Infinity Bro with me. It is the Portal Master of the Infinity Bros universe, Max Mosier. How you doing, Max?
I'm doing just peachy, Isaac. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited to be back on another episode.
And if you are not familiar with the Infinity Bros, we are a group of 5 guys that just talk about pop culture, entertainment, film, movies, TV, video games, anything that kind of tickles our interest in. There's been a lot of TV that is coming out lately. If you want to go back to our Patreon, you can click on the link to support us for less than $2 a month to get exclusive access to behind the scenes content of the Infinity Bros podcast. We talk about Star Wars, we talk about The Boys, and a lot of the other TV. There's so much TV that's coming out lately. We're going to be talking Daredevil Born Again later on in this episode, but I wanted to just highlight that a little bit, that we do have some fun on our Patreon. So make sure you go check that out. Click the link in our show notes. And you can hear all about Max's foray into Star Wars with his kids, which I have been just absolutely loving hearing about. Max, can you share just like a teeny little tidbit of what your kids have been experiencing through the Star Wars journey?
We've been rewatching Star Wars, and by rewatching, I mean I'm rewatching, and they are seeing Star Wars through the lens of fresh eyes, and it has been magical. So if you'd like to hear more about that, we'd love to invite you to check out the Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, if you're a parent, I would strongly recommend that you go check this out, because I mean, to me as a Star Wars fan and as a dad, it just brings me great joy to hear Max's stories about this. So definitely go check that out. But today we're going to be talking about CinemaCon. That was over last week, and we had a ton of film and TV announcements that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Daredevil Born Again, and then we're going to talk about the premiere episode of From Season 4. We have become big From fans over the past couple of years, and we have not really dove into it on the podcast, so we decided to change that this year. Max really has been the instigator when it comes to getting us into some of these weird horror things, inexplicably, because Max is not a horror guy. But Max, you are the reason that I've watched From.
You're painting me in a bad light. This is the only horror thing that I've ever been like, let's dive in on. Everything else, I'm usually like, no thanks.
That's not true. And I know you haven't watched it yet. It's on your list, but Welcome to Derry is another fantastic horror show. But you talking about the It movies is honestly one of the reasons why I started watching that show. And it's such a good show. It's a great show. So I know you're going to watch it eventually, but like, there are very few select things that you talk about being good. And I'm like, all right, if Max likes this scary thing, I probably need to check it out.
I appreciate you're so kind.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about From, and we have been just absolutely fascinated by this show. And Max has some pretty controversial statements that he wants to make about this. So stay tuned for our review on From.
What else is new?
What else is new? Exactly. If you have listened to the Infinity Bros before, you know that Max is our controversial statement guy. You know, you're the controversial statement guy, but then I feel like Robbie's the hot take guy, because his takes are just straight up dumb. Like, you've actually thought about your takes.
My favorite though, like, bit is when I'll say something and you'll put like a clip out, and then somebody we know who's like a friend of the show or people that like us, they'll go, I normally don't agree with Max, but he's spot on here. That's
It
my
happens
least
on
favorite thing.
almost a regular basis.
Every
It's
single
amazing.
thing I say, some different type of person's like, I normally would tell Max to kick rocks, but he's onto something here.
Oh, that one good thing that Max has said about this show. Oh my gosh, I love it. Let's get into it. We're going to talk some nerd news first.
Hey, Zane, I was looking into getting into this Gunpla thing. There's one called the Unicorn Banshee. What the heck is that all about? Actually, Jarrett, what you're thinking of is RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 2 Banshee, which is from the Mobile Suit Gundam. Actually, you know what? It's time for nerd news.
All right, we're going to recap a few things that came out during CinemaCon, and to be completely honest and transparent, there's just so much here that happened during CinemaCon. So we're not going to get to a lot of the news, but there's a few things that I feel like we had to highlight. And the three big ones that I have on my list here are Spider-Man Brand New Day, Across the Spider-Verse, and Avengers Doomsday. So those three things we're going to talk about in detail a little bit here. But Sony came out on day one of CinemaCon, and they talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day and Across the Spider-Verse. So there was a new clip that they showed from Brand New Day, which is coming on July 31st this summer. The clip is part of the trailer, actually. So there's a little scene in the trailer where Peter is in this like little cafe or something like that, and Ned is buying coffee and then leaves. And then in the very last scene in the trailer, there is a scene where Peter is like talking to Ned and MJ during like a party in an apartment. And those are part of the same scene, actually, where Ned comes into this cafe, Peter follows him back to this party, and then introduces himself to Ned and MJ. But yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day, Max, and then if this new footage really means anything to you. As far as, I mean, you and I are already going to it, right? Like, I don't think anything that they're going to reveal at CinemaCon is going to necessarily sway us. But
Nope.
what are your thoughts on this new footage?
I think it's interesting to find out what this connection with Ned and MJ is going to be. When the last movie ended, I was curious if they would even bring those two back. I kind of was curious if this was like their exit point. And then later, maybe MJ would be back. But Ned especially, I didn't anticipate him necessarily coming back. But it makes sense. They're wondering who Spider-Man is. They've got an itch they can't scratch. That's clear. That's what the footage, as well as the trailers, implying. Peter's going on a self-reflection journey on what it means to be Spider-Man, and he's, like we've said, we want our Spider-Man to be down and out. So it looks like he's down and out. So I'm excited. I have nothing but positives to say about this. I'm really with Spider-Man at the point where I don't need any more marketing.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
I'm with you there. It's like I didn't really need any more information. The one thing from this clip that I kind of got excited about is that there's people saying that Ned talked about a app that he came up with called like the Spider Tracker or something like that. And it kind of reminded me of Spider-Man 2 and the Miles Morales games, the Insomniac games, where Genki, who is kind of like the character that Ned leads in Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe is based on, comes up with like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app where like people can report crime so the Spider-Man can go and, you know, take out the bad guys and stuff. And I was like, I kind of like that they're bringing in inspiration from different sources and stuff like that. Obviously doesn't really make a difference on the overall scope of like my enjoyment or hype for this film. But I was like, all right, I appreciate from where they're drawing from, especially since like the fact that they did base Ned's character off of Genki and then just called him Ned, just kind of for funsies, because he's Peter Parker related character and not a Miles Morales character. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a cool connection, but at the same time, once again, does not really change anything about the movie for me. But they also revealed 2 new posters, and one of those posters was of Spider-Man and the Hand. So that was another pretty cool thing.
Yep.
And you and I have talked on previous episodes of kind of our thoughts on the hand in this. Actually, you know what? Have we talked about it since the recent leaks that we've had on the internet? I don't even know if we have.
Yeah, no, we talked about that. We talked about that last episode.
Okay.
Yep,
all right, we
yep.
talked about it.
Last episode.
So, okay, a little spoiler. If you don't want to know anything about Daredevil Born Again, fast forward like 3 minutes. But basically, Mike Coulter posted these pictures of Matt Murdock in a orange prison outfit. So, like, pretty clear that this could be Daredevil that Spider-Man is rescuing in his movie, and the hand is like involved somehow, like either trying to stop Spider-Man from doing it. I don't really know how that all works out with the hand, but like it makes so much sense that Daredevil is involved in this movie if the hand is there, right? Like I just think that's pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think too it's going to be interesting to see how Daredevil ends. I'm hopeful, but I just don't think it will. I can't trust Marvel in this season of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
8 years ago, I could have trusted Marvel, but right now I can't. And we're going to talk about Daredevil here in a bit, but I've got some thoughts there. I'm hoping it connects to Spider-Man. I'm just not fully there yet to jump in and say it's going to happen.
I think it's fair to be apprehensive just with their track record in the past phase and a half of like not connecting anything really. So I think that's fair. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. And we'll know at the end of next month when Daredevil Born Again wraps up their season 2. So we will see. All right, next thing, a little bit more exciting news for me, especially, but for all of us, is Sony also announced that Across the Spider-Verse is officially coming to theaters June 18th, 2027. Still a year away, which I'm not crazy about, but it's coming. And we have gotten virtually zero news on Across the Spider-Verse basically since Beyond the Spider-Verse came out. So the fact that we're actually getting something is much better than nothing. Because like I feel like there's people starting to question, is this movie even coming? Because like up until this year, the actors like doing the voice lines still were saying they have not recorded voice lines for Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, and you add in also the fact that they had promised it'd be out a year after the last release. You add in the fact that the quantity of work it requires to get this movie accomplished. Phil Lord and Miller were also doing movies like Project Hail Mary that just came out. There's a story that says that they actually asked, I forget the company that led that initiative, forgive me, but Project Hail Mary was filmed adjacent to where this next Spider-Verse movie is, so that they could go back and forth and see like previs and things like that. So I think there's just a lot of different variables. I'm extremely disappointed in Sony for how they've handled this. The way that second movie ended required a massive push to get this done. I never want artists to be overworked. I never want artists to not be compensated correctly, but a movie like this does require a large quantity of work. And so I'm disappointed that Sony didn't make that a priority, because I do think it loses legs coming out in 2027. Where I was 2 years ago is much different than where I am today on this movie. I will be excited. It's going to be great, but I do think it's lost a little bit of emotional fervor, especially with young crowds.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And we talked it to death when Stranger Things was coming out, but it was the same kind of deal. Like when you take 10 years to come out with 5 seasons of television, it just is, I mean, it just loses some of its muster. And unfortunately, it'll be 9 years on June 18th from Into the Spider-Verse to Across the Spider-Verse. So it's a long time and it sucks. Obviously, I'm still here for it. I'm still going to be really excited. But yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. They did show a little bit of a unfinished animation clip, and then they also revealed and released online some like frames from Across the Spider-Verse that were finished, and they look beautiful, which is not.
But we're 2 years late, Isaac. We're 2 years late. I will be excited when any trailer comes out, but marketing,
Sure.
Full transparency, I'm really frustrated. This should have been done a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The way that movie ended, you can't end a movie that way with like, what are we doing, Sony? Yeah. How is Brand New Day getting moved that fast? I get it's animation. I get Phil Lord and Miller are busy people, but come on. Yeah, we could have figured this out.
That should have been fast tracked after Into the Spider-Verse, honestly, because Into the Spider-Verse was such like a cultural phenomenon at the time, and everybody was praising it, and it was fantastic. And Beyond the Spider-Verse also took 3 years after Into the Spider-Verse, I think. And yeah, like you said, I mean, I get the animation is it takes time to come up with and stuff like that. But man, yeah, you should have had all of your resources on that, because that's the only thing that Sony I feel like is doing really well right now is animation. Like their animation stuff is actually really, really great. So you should have focused on that. And I get, that you want to be involved in the MCU and the bigger picture of Marvel and stuff like that, but that's not where your strengths are at. So you should have put this first on your
And
priority
look,
list.
what did we just talk about with Brand New Day? I don't trust that Marvel's going to connect this. I don't
Mhm.
trust that right now with the way they're at. They're way too focused on X-Men. They're way too focused on the new Fantastic Four reboot. In theory, this could come up in Secret Wars. I think it's more of are they going to include a Tom Holland? And the only connection I anticipate is Tom Holland somehow going to be in it, and they explain why that is in Secret Wars. I don't know, but nope, I have zero faith in both these entities right now, even after how No Way Home ended.
So speaking of Secret Wars and speaking of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, Disney was kind of the last big presentation of CinemaCon, and they came out swinging with several announcements, but ending with an Avengers Doomsday trailer, which we have still not seen. What is it now? A week and a half later? We still have not seen that online. I mean, it's been leaked.
You can read the description, and I mean, Isaac, if you want to read it, that's fine. Here's my stance on this. This is poor marketing. The wrong people are seeing this trailer. The right people are. I mean, look at the numbers on Instagram of the shares and the likes when they showed those X-Men and Captain America trailers. I mean, people went bananas. Even the Black Panther one. I really think when Ben Grimm is talking to M'Baku, oh my word, like
Wild. Yeah.
it's so good. Like this isn't hard, and clearly, Marvel has a marketing strategy. I was reading some article the other day that said that usually when their Endgame and like Avengers trailers come out 150 days prior. That is currently scheduled to be San Diego Comic-Con, which Marvel will be at.
Oh,
I
yeah, for sure.
anticipate at Comic-Con we get the trailer after the panel or maybe during the panel, and I anticipate that we will start getting tangible things then. The hype is real. Downey Jr. is the one that is the reason people are coming back, as well as Chris Evans and these X-Men, and how they handle this is going to be huge. It was cool to read about the Gambit and Shang-Chi fight.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some rumors, this is little bits, that Shang-Chi's going to have the ability to multiply, that he's going to learn that ability thanks to the 10 rings.
Ooh.
So that would be a really cool kind of thing. And it would play off the X-Men who had an X-Men like that, a mutant like that in X2. So I think there's just some cool opportunities with this movie. I can't wait. We're there day one. It's in my calendar right now. It's on my professional calendar. Thursday night, I'm out the door by 4 o'clock.
I love that.
I will not have a meeting after 4 o'clock that day because I got to get home to check out Doomsday at 6 or 7
prepare.
o'clock, right? So I'm really, this is the stuff I hate that cinema does, not just Marvel. And CinemaCon is for theater owners and it's for influencers. I think for me, if you're going to show it to theater owners, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But to show influencers and have them describe it really takes things away from it. But it also goes to show, and this is what I say to you and Isaac, all the time, we're the type of people that care about this stuff. Right. You and I, right? Like technically we're influencers on the show. So it's a little pot calling kettle black. However, I just think put it in the hands of your core audience and let them share it. And I think people are ready. People are ready to see Robert Downey Jr. be bad, and they're ready to see Captain America come back. And the more I think about this, and now I'm just speculating about the movie, I just think Captain America is going to die. I think they're going to kill him.
I could see that. Yeah,
just
I could see
feels like this ends with Dr. Doom killing him, and we're all mad about it because it keeps that tension those two actors have going. So we'll see.
What if it ends with Dr. Doom and Steve Rogers dying?
Yeah, or even like I've read some people say it ends with Iron Man fighting Doctor Doom, and it's like, okay, I could see it, and that'd be cool, but like, I think there's some cool things you could do too. But I trust the Russos though.
Yeah, right. The Russos, I mean, they absolutely knocked it out of the park with Infinity War and Endgame. So like, I don't think I can really not trust them. But I don't know. I'm with you though. The trailer thing seems weird, especially since the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer blew the record out of the water by like 300 million views in like 24 hours or whatever. Like more than I don't even know what the previous one was, but it was insane how many people watched that trailer. And Avengers Doomsday, like Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Like everybody loves Spider-Man, even like people that don't like superheroes. So like I don't know if it would reach that level, but it would be insane on the internet. Like it's going to go wild when it finally gets officially released. So I'm not really sure why they're holding back either, but
yeah, and maybe it's because CinemaCon had other stuff, right? Like we didn't talk about Dune, we didn't talk about kind of some of the other Disney stuff that came out. Tom Cruise has some big stuff. He's in Digger. He's also in
Top Gun 3.
Top Gun 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, like there are big things happening in CinemaCon. I just think everyone and their mom wanted to know about Doomsday. That was the and be in the Spider-Verse movies. I think these movies matter a lot in that sense, and they're movies that the box office wants to see, right? So yeah, I don't understand showing a trailer twice. Yeah, and they did it with Infinity War. They had like green lasers on people. If they thought somebody was on their phone, they'd green lasers on them, and then they'd like escort them out. Like crazy stuff.
Yeah, that is wild. Like technology wise, they have kept it pretty locked down. I mean, there has been a few people that have leaked it or whatever. I purposely have stayed away from that because I don't really want to watch a stupid gray.
But that's the other thing. In an AI era, you could in theory recreate this with AI.
Yeah, and people have done it, right? Yeah, there's YouTube versions of like recreating everything that's been described of that trailer. Stupid, but at the same time, like if you really really wanted to experience it, I mean, yeah, I guess you can. You might as well just wait for the real trailer to come out at that point, I feel like. But
we'll go to the next thing in a bit, but I do want to plug Who's Seen It. It's a video release series. It has a great breakdown of the Western man being represented as Cyclops in the Doomsday trailer. That I don't even know if I fundamentally agree with their take. It's like and they just do a great job of aligning philosophy with comic books and film. And they only have a couple videos, but they do their best video is a Man of Steel video that I love. But an interesting take on Doomsday with that. And if you're looking to kind of dig into some different content without looking at this stuff, I'd highly recommend stuff like
we'll
that.
Throw that link in the show notes so they can
send it. I'll send it to Isaac for the show notes.
For sure. So anyways, I mean, we're obviously excited for Avengers Doomsday, and I feel like everybody else collectively is starting to get hyped for it. And I think Brand New Day really will get people kind of jump started towards it as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting when that trailer finally drops online, because those little mini teasers really did collect a ton of traction. Because prior to those, I didn't even know if I was on board, honestly. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be there. I'm definitely going to watch it in theaters. But I still was kind of like, I don't know if I'm like, just with the direction the MCU has gone, I don't know if this movie is going to have the impact that, Infinity War and Endgame have. And it probably still won't have that level of impact. But yeah, I just feel like the general hype is trending upwards and will continue to until the movie finally releases in December. So, and they also announced too that they're keeping that release date because Dune 3 is releasing on that date as well. And Dune 3 has booked up almost all of the IMAX showings.
Well, and then they talked about the Vision.
The Infinity Vision or whatever.
Infinity Vision, thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm interested to see how that goes. I mean, we talked about this in the last episode with Mario, but Marcus Cinema, which is the one I have locally, has the Screen X stuff where it keeps going on the sidewalls. We've been very critical of the theater experience on this show for years. I am very thankful that theaters are starting to hear this stuff. And I'm like, if you're going to make me pay 15, $20, you better bring the heat. Like, you better have, I want heated chairs. I want it to always be clean and tidy. I want the movie theater experience to just be a little different than what I'm getting at home. And I think theaters are hearing that criticism.
I definitely think they have done a really good job at stepping it up. Like, so many theaters now have like bars. Almost all theaters have like the recliner seats now. Like it's becoming a positive, comfortable experience instead of, sometimes you go to the theaters and it's like, man, it's really not a great experience. So I feel like that is shifting, but they still face an uphill battle. I feel like movie theaters, just with streaming becoming such a cultural phenomenon. But yeah, I'm still enjoying going to the theater as often as I possibly can, and that's definitely not going to change with my kids coming up. Like, they love going to the movie theater. So, but you're right though. Like, if Disney can somehow, improve that theater experience through this, like, I don't really understand the full concept of it, but it's basically like, I would say equivalent to like a 4DX or Dolby Cinema experience or whatever. Not quite to the level of IMAX, but like on that upper echelon of, theater experiences. They can do that and successfully implement that in theaters. I'm all for it.
Do something.
Exactly. So there you go. That is our thoughts on Avengers Doomsday. If you guys have any thoughts, make sure you hit us up on Infinity Bros Podcast on social media or infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com. All right. Next up, Max, let's talk Daredevil. Episodes 5 and 6 are the recent ones that we have not really talked about. So if you want to catch up, you can hear us review the premiere and episodes 2 through 4 on our previous episodes of the Infinity Bros podcast. We'll have those links in the show notes. But we're going to be mainly talking about those episodes and probably the show as a whole up until this point. So if you have not caught those, make sure you go pause this episode right now. Go do that right now. Here is your official spoiler warning for Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
All right, Max, episodes 5 and 6 of Daredevil Born Again. 2 banger episodes. I feel like they're just getting better as the season goes on. Episodes 1 and 2 we talked about I think it was last episode. Kind of like building episodes, intro episodes, building episodes. And then since then, 3, 4, 5, 6, just bangers, one after the other. Like, so many amazing things have happened. And then we finally get the reveal of Jessica Jones in episode 6. So
Remember when she was going to be in 8 episodes? She's going to be in 8 episodes
Yeah,
this season.
I remember.
that. I got
we
a lot to
finally
say
got her,
about
though.
that.
Were you pretty pumped about it?
Let's go back to 5.
Okay.
Then we'll talk 6. Episode 5 is the best Daredevil episode in the history of Daredevil.
Wow.
This is a 6 out of 6. This is an unbelievable episode. Everyone is doing their part. It felt like I was back in season 2 of the original series.
Mhm. Yeah.
When I was binging those episodes late into the night. Infinity Bros Zane and I, we would do this. Those early seasons when I didn't have kids, it was like, all right, I'm just going to watch 6 episodes, sleep 10 hours, and then get up on Saturday and watch the rest. And I felt like I was back then. This is so amazing. I was telling you pre-show, season 1 feels obsolete. It feels like a filler season at this juncture. Because episodes like episodes 5 and 6 have come along and made me realize what this show should be. The grand design is an amazing episode. This is the best written episode in the series. I think this is one of, as a pastor at a college in our area, I couldn't be more thankful to see a depiction of the Good Samaritan from the Gospels in this. And I also loved the foil of Matt and Fisk. And this episode really sets up a big encounter that happens in episode 6. But from Vanessa kind of playing the best hits in her brain to the return of Foggy and the return of Wesley. The return of Wesley.
Yeah.
And
wow. That was
even
crazy.
how the contrast of the screen went to the Netflix dimensions. This show totally gets it. And we've heard rumors of how season 1 went and how D'Onofrio and Cox really had to fight for certain things. And they were so right because they understand this. And Foggy being back, the morality of the show is in Foggy. Foggy makes me want to be a better man just by existing in this show. And to watch Daredevil make the choice to go back to save Bullseye, who's done everything in this series, not just these 2 seasons, but the previous seasons, how he was an imposter. He mimicked Daredevil. He killed people in brutal ways. He killed Vanessa. Like all of this series led to episode 5, and to call it the grand design and to watch the inversion of Fisk feeling like he's safe and then all of a sudden it's ripped away. That's tremendous writing there. And then to watch Daredevil have the ability to walk away but choose not to be safe was so poetic, beautiful. The contrast of red and white and how they've really set that up all series. And then the minute that Daredevil and Poindexter grab hands, it combines together. I mean, this is an accomplishment, this episode. 6 out of 6. This is some of the best thing that Disney has done with Marvel in the last 5 years since Endgame. This is some tremendous work. The grand design is a must watch for everybody. I told somebody who hadn't been caught up, I said, you need to watch Daredevil because you need to get to episode 5 of season 2 because it is some of the best. I will be using this episode in sermons. I know some people eye rolled like, oh, is he being the youth pastor vibe? No, like this is got tremendous imagery that should be used to make big, deep theological, philosophical points for a long time. Unbelievable episode, 6 out of 6. I love this episode.
And you know, kids, who has a grand design for your life? That's how you started off.
My smoking hot wife.
Oh, you got to mention that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I echo everything that you said in there. I don't know. I heard some people say that there was like too many flashbacks, and I was like, we're going back to Netflix Daredevil.
What do you want?
These flashbacks.
What do you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This, and we've been saying it, this season is a return to form.
Mm-hmm.
Not a return to form in season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, but a return to Netflix Daredevil. Like this feels like Netflix Daredevil again. And the fact that we got these flashbacks to go back, man, like you said, it just felt like we were right in the middle of season 2. And the parallels, like you said as well, to Bullseye and in season 3 of Netflix Daredevil. Oh, that might be that's again one of my favorite television seasons like of all time is season 3 of Daredevil, because Bullseye imitating Daredevil in that season is just incredible. He is such a good villain in that season, and to get him to come back and reprise that role and to get, Matt trying to save him despite all the horrible, awful things that he's done. Wow. Yeah, this episode was top notch, and episode 6 just followed that up and did an incredible job of like continuing that as well. But wow, I'm just wowed at this season because of how bad season 1 is in comparison. Once again, we've talked about this. Season 1, it's not terrible. It's not like a bad season of television, but now when we've got this season that's so good in comparison, you look back at season 1, I'm like, what were they thinking?
It's the ultimate filler season, and I don't think it's crazy to say it's the worst season of all the Daredevil shows.
Oh yeah, that's not even.
I don't think that's a controversial take at all, really. It just goes to show this is what they've had, and this is what people wanted. So even to hear the feedback you're saying, where people are like, "Oh, too many flashbacks," shut up. Like the whole point of bringing this all back was to tie it in, and we talked about this last week how the Defenders are going to start playing into it, and we'll get to that in episode 6. It is so abundantly clear that season 3 is going to be the Defenders season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now we're going to either get the most unhinged Fisk ever, or Fisk will be taken over and a new villain will take his place, who will be bigger and badder. And my assumption is, at this juncture as a prediction, that will be placed there by Mr. Charles or somebody from the government, or somebody else is going to let a bigger, dare I say, hand come into play.
Yeah.
And so this is so good. This wraps up the Vanessa arc so well. To have Fisk get her back and then lose her was so poetic and awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Without killing a bad guy, that's about as good of a bad thing you could do to a bad guy to make me go, ooh, I felt for Fisk. That's how bad it was.
Right. Yeah. Like when we're
Fisk.
feeling sympathy for one of the worst Marvel villains that we've ever had, that's how you know that this is good storytelling. Like this is
also, Isaac, why Echo didn't work. This is also why Hawkeye, to some extent, with him in it. I loved the Hawkeye season, but I didn't love that Fisk was kind of in it at the end. I love that they brought him back.
Yeah.
He was just weird. Like, this is where Fisk needs to be. He doesn't need to be. I get the Hawaiian shirt's a comic book reference and all that stuff. Like, Fisk does delve into other worlds, but we're ready now after all this to see Fisk take his next step. And we're going to talk about that here in a second in the next episode. But this is unequivocally, in my opinion, the best episode in the series. And I would fight with anybody on that. This is unbelievable writing from the second it starts to the end. Well done.
I forget, actually. I don't know if this is in episode 5 or episode 6, but the moment that Vanessa dies and that doctor comes in and just starts spewing crap and then Fisk just kills him. I was like, when that guy started talking, I was like, I want to kill him right now because this is just the wrong time for that. And then you almost for a split second was like, maybe Fisk is like gonna accept this hug that this guy's trying to give him for some reason, and then he kills him. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. Unhinged Fisk is starting right here, and oh man.
Well, let's talk about this season. Let's talk about episode 6 real quick. So that scene's great because we all knew it was coming. It was like in Endgame where Hawkeye is seeing his family disappear. You know what's coming, but you can't stop it. That's how that felt to me. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, this guy is so dead, and he kind of deserves it because he keeps running his mouth. But also, and we didn't even talk about this with Daniel Blake last episode, but like he took a big leap as a character in that episode. Yeah. And really, I was very critical of Daniel Blake earlier in this season. You kind of gave me a hard time, and I think you were right. I was like, what's the point of this? And now I'm in a state where he's the only variable in this equation. He could make situations really worse, or he could make situations very positive. And I'm interested to see in the next 2 episodes where he lines in this. Then we jump to the Burbs, and we jump to Jessica Jones kicking everybody's rear end, and her daughter's running around with a flash grenade. I don't know if I've ever been more anxious in this series than that. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, put it down. I was like, are they going to kill her? I thought they were going to kill her. I really did. I was like, did they pull the rug out from under us?
I was a little worried there for a second too, but when she comes in at the last second, it takes it from her, just deactivates it. I was like, oh my gosh, that was whew. That was amazing.
and then you jump to Karen putting the gun to Poindexter's face, and she pulls the trigger, and Matt stops her. Like,
question for you here.
Wow.
She has the gun to Bullseye's head. And the lead up to this is so good because we know like the history that she has with Punisher. And that's where she's getting this kind of underlying like idea of we can't stop these people and there's no way to stop it unless they're gone. They're dead, right? So like she's got the gun to his head and Daredevil throws his billy club at it. The gun goes off after the billy club hits the gun, right? Do we think that she actually pulled the trigger, or is that a result of the billy club like hitting the gun?
I think she pulled the trigger. I think she did. I interpret, and maybe I don't know if the writers are trying to get me to, I interpret it as she was ready and Matt is saving her from doing it. And this is why episode 5 I think is so great, is Daredevil will not kill. We talk about Batman being a superhero, who always talks about not killing. Daredevil is kind of becoming Gen Z's version of this with Batman.
Yeah, right.
He is refusing to kill, like that argument, the philosophical argument of Well, think of all the things he's done. Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is the Batman Joker debate that happens in comic books. And this is now sprung on Daredevil. And what a tremendous ethical question to ask. As she's pointing a gun to Poindexter, who, if by all counts, if she makes that decision, the audience will not question that choice.
Right.
They've earned the right to do whatever they want with that. But to continue to go back to Matt having the theme of mercy is so amazing and wonderful.
And to get the flashback in episode 5 of Foggy
Yeah,
being
I
the
know.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
What
it
are
was
we
so
Yeah,
good.
we're on 6, but we're going back to 5. This is why
We're
5's so good, right?
Yeah.
What are we celebrating? Mercy is it might be my favorite line in the whole series.
Yeah.
Unbelievable writing. And you just feel like the pieces are coming together now. Like, you got Poindexter in the room. My gut tells me he's part of this thing at the end of the day. Jessica Jones comes in. We get a ton of information from her. She wasn't attacked by the AVTF. She was attacked by CIA, which means Mr. Charles, Dave Fontaine's in there. Like, bigger picture stuff going on. And then also, she says somebody made the choice to go with them. Who's she talking about? Is she talking about Luke Cage? Is she talking about other people? Like, I don't know. Like, is she talking about Iron Fist?
I heard
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of people online saying that it was possibly Trish, her sister, which if
Yep.
you watched in the Jessica Jones series, I mean, that's like a big part of the storyline. My inkling when I heard that initially was like Luke Cage, because they
I think
show
it's Luke
her
Cage
and her
too.
daughter
Yeah.
in that initial scene, and he's not there. And I gotta believe it's Luke Cage. And part of me thinks the connections here, Fisk goes off the rails, right? At the end of the season, he either dies or goes back to jail or whatever. What if we get, and we've talked about this too, the next step in this whole story or saga is Mayor Luke Cage. And what if his backing is the CIA / DeFontaine, Charles, all these people? That would be interesting. I don't really know how that plays into the future of the show, because I feel like he's too much of a good guy to be backed by those people.
You and I also know something very, very spoilerish about next season already.
Right, true.
So I think we just need to say this is a pure spoiler for potentially next season, rest of the way.
Right.
So jump ahead to hear about From. Thanks for listening to us if you don't want to hear more. I really think this ends with Matt turning himself in to save something, to continue to preserve justice, to fight for, nope, we will be about justice. And I think it's a sacrificial play to get Fisk, right? I think he's going to cut a deal with probably like the CIA to say, like, I will go in, get you Fisk. And they're going to go, we're taking you. And he's going to say, then Jessica Jones walks because she wasn't supposed to be part of this. Or Karen Page walks because she wasn't supposed to, or all of them walk. I don't know. I think that's where this ends up. And that's what sets the next season up for Frank Castle, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, perhaps Elektra.
Bring it all back. Let's go.
Maybe, dare I say Spider-Man, maybe? Because he's going to know who he is.
Right.
I think that's where this lands. But we'll see. What I love is that I kind of do know something, but I still don't have a clue how I get there. And I love that. I think that's a really, really good thing that's going for this season. Sometimes those spoilers don't help. This is one of those that I think does. I'm going to give this episode, Isaac, a 5.9 out of 6. And I'm taking 0.1 off because I'm disappointed with how Jessica Jones was in this episode.
Okay.
From the perspective of, I hated that she showed up and then she just walked off.
Okay. I want to go back to Jessica Jones again, because initially we get her and Matt talking on that rooftop scene. We get her and Matt blowing up the facility. That was cool. There was a cool fight scene in there. We finally, like, I don't know, it was good to see her back in action again. But we get this little sub story that she's kind of off and on been losing her powers. And then during that fight scene, she punches Powell, who that guy is doing a great job acting like just the worst person of all time. Like,
he is so dead by the end of this season.
Oh, he's
a dead man walking
for sure. But anyway, she punches him, and it, like, you know, it's a punch, but it's not a Jessica Jones punch. Like, he should have probably died if she punched him full strength. So he turns around and is able to, like, not knock her out, but like hit her. Daredevil comes and saves the day, whatever. But like, I don't really like this little sub story of her losing her powers, and I wonder if they're just doing it just to put her on the level of everybody else, kind of like level her out so she's not too OP for this story.
Yeah, and maybe I'm being generous with 5.9, but I think it just carried the momentum of the previous
Oh
episode
yeah,
with it.
right. I don't disagree with that, by the way. I still think 6 was an incredible episode, but like
Yeah.
little
I
like
think
sub
that's a
story,
fair
I don't know
criticism.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel great about it yet. So we'll see. Obviously we've got 2 episodes left in the season. Maybe they have a bigger end goal in mind with that, but I can't really see where it's going at this point. And I'm like,
I think that's such a fair criticism, Isaac, of Jessica Jones, and they did that in the previous shows too, right? And
right.
that's what Purple Man did. He nerfed her,
Right.
and other things. I mean, if there's
Well,
any
and it's
way they could,
okay if it, like you said, in Purple Man, like that was the whole point of that season, is that he has power over her. If they're doing it just to nerf her so she's on the same level as everybody else in this season, I'm not a huge fan of that. If they have an end goal in mind, I could be okay with it depending on how it all plays out. But right now, I'm a little apprehensive of that storyline. And that was kind of the only thing that like I was not thrilled about with her coming back. And the fact that you mentioned that it should have happened way earlier in the season.
yeah, we got there's so much that happens in this episode, right?
Right.
Powell gives the card to Saunders, and then later he shoots him, and yeah, he sucks. Daniel sets up BB,
Ooh, okay.
takes him back to her
Daniel.
house, which is why I kind of said that from a previous episode, and she doesn't sell him out. I thought for sure she was selling him out. And I was like, here we go.
Sure he was too, and I was so happy she didn't.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm glad she didn't, but I still feel like he's Breaking Bad. Like I still feel like he's heading towards the. If I have to guess, I think he's heading to the dark side. That's my answer.
Oh yeah, I think for sure too.
But there's a chance. I actually he could be good. He could be.
I really liked how they finally made him confront, is Fisk a bad guy?
Yes.
With, I don't know, was it the end of episode 5 or was it the end of episode 4 that they did this, where they like brought him out with Buck, and then he thought he was going to get killed, and then he saw the body in the backseat that he helped Buck bury, and that's the point, right? That's the point where he's like, he can't hide from the fact that Fisk is a bad guy anymore. That's just straight up like, he has to make a decision now of like, am I following Fisk even though I know he's a bad guy, or do I, try to still fight for what's right or whatever? So we don't really see a definitive like answer in these 2 episodes, but the scene with him at his mom's house with BB is a great scene, and he's doing an incredible job acting too. That's playing in his head, and we still are in limbo at this point of like where he's going to fall on that spectrum. And I love that we're kind of getting strung out on that, because I think you're right. I think he does play a pretty important part on where this season is heading. So it'll be interesting to see if he like becomes the foil that eventually helps bring down Fisk, or if he becomes maybe even his like successor or something like that. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where it's all going to play out, but I'm glad that we finally are starting to get some payoff with this.
I agree. I think Daniel, I was always curious why this character now, and it's working for me. And you know what? We can be critical of the first season, but it has set the second season up well. So maybe it's a small price to pay to get to where we are. And maybe I just need to accept that. That might be a me problem. Heather strangling Buck was also weird.
Yeah,
this
weird.
is the one. She's going to be in season 3 as Muse, right? Like that's where she's headed.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
not even like,
I don't like it. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it, guys. I think this is a waste.
Yeah,
I think I agree. We're doing too much here. We could cut this one out. This one doesn't need to be there.
I think she could have been an interesting character if they maybe played it a different way, but like, she's such a second thought at this point, and it's like, I don't know why we're spending time on her.
Yeah, maybe she kills Karen. Maybe what gives me more credibility to hate her is she kills Karen.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe that's where Matt really gets pissy, right? I don't know. And then the pinnacle scene, right? You get the fight, that fight with the 2 of them. Oh, that was good.
That was so good. And they've done a great job with this throughout the show. Even season 1 had a lot of really good moments with this, but like, they had 2 shots that were just straight out of comics. The one where he comes into the scene and his Daredevil silhouette is on Fisk's head.
Yeah.
Wow, great shot. And then the one where he like ropes Fisk's neck with his billy club and then like does the knee to the face is just, oh my gosh, so many great moments in this fight. And I love how, you know, we're seeing unhinged Fisk at this point, and Daredevil still, even though he is fighting him, he's still holding back. Like he still kind of wants Fisk to see the light, even though he knows in the back of his mind that's not going to happen. He knows that Fisk is never going to come back at this point, but he's still trying. He's still being Daredevil and wanting to see the good in people and giving mercy, like we talked about in the last episode. Oh, I loved it, man. That was such a great fight scene.
I have never seen a duo do the Batman Joker thing as well as this duo is.
Yeah, right.
Like they're right there with it. And I mean it. This is Gen Z's Batman and Joker, guys. This is like that philosophical question's always been asked in the DC comics. This is Marvel's version of that. And it's better for it. But I think the difference is Joker doesn't have people that he loves. Like Harley Quinn got introduced in the 90s. This is a great foil. And Fisk is always had Vanessa in the comics. And right, I mean, you think about the Spider-Man Spider-Verse movies we talked about earlier in the show. He put a black hole in a different dimension to have a relationship with Vanessa.
Right.
He will do anything after this. Everything's on the table.
And Fisk is always about control. He loves to have control. And then Joker is kind of the opposite of that. It's like he doesn't necessarily want control, but he also doesn't want anybody else to have control. That's like Joker's thing is like chaos, right? So it is just a very interesting dynamic. And man, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, after, I mean, they're going to continue obviously, but like they got to go down in comic book movie history as like some of the best castings of comic book characters, right? Like these guys are just
the natural next step is the cinema.
It'll be interesting to see a movie with that and with the history of these characters too. I mean, where would you take a movie that has to do with both of them as well? Like, I don't know,
think
man.
It's Spider-Man. Something with Spider-Man.
To see Vincent D'Onofrio go up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man would be something cool.
Yeah, I want him to kill Aunt May. I mean, Aunt May is dead already in that universe, I guess. But like, I would love for him to kill MJ instead of Green Goblin and have Spider-Man go in to the jail cell and do the same thing he did in the panel. That I forget the series, I forget the run, but he just tells him like, I could fill your lungs with fluid and you'd be dead in a minute. Like, I want that. I want him telling him I've held my punches for years. I want him to look at him and go, I'm not Daredevil.
Right.
You mess with the wrong guy. Like, I want that version of Tom Holland against Fisk. I want Fisk to go, I can't physically beat you. I love that Fisk and Daredevil have this kind of like anybody could win that fight at any day, depending on what happens. So, no, this was an amazing episode too. The Jessica Jones thing, I think, is great feedback, but that's not a deal breaker for this episode at all.
No,
to me. And it's so clear now with the spoilers we've referenced, with the things we've talked about in this season, that they have next season a big season ahead of them. Well done, Marvel. Well done. We're on a streak right now. We're on a little bit of a streak right now, Marvel is.
Dichotomy between season 1 and season 2 is just so fascinating. I just can't believe that they're doing such a great job with this season, coming off of what a mess season 1 was.
Yeah, season 1 was brutal. But if that's the sacrifice I got to make to get what I'm getting now, fine.
Sure.
I'm so pleased. I think that's the other thing. I'm really pleased because coming into the season, I was like, whatever. And now I'm like, I can't imagine not watching it the next 2 episodes. There's only 2 left.
Yeah, only 2 left. Be interested to see how it all plays out, to see if it, leads into Spider-Man Brand New Day. If we get a Defenders appearance by the end of the season, leading into season 3, who knows? All right, let's move on to our next topic. We are going to be talking about From, which is an MGM Plus exclusive series. And if you have not been watching it, it's on season 4. The season 4 premiere just dropped last week. And we have been sneakily getting into this show. It's a fantastic show, but the premise is a town with hidden secret experiences, strange occurrences that intensify at night. Mysterious forces disrupt everyday routines as residents try to preserve stability and community while attempting to comprehend their surroundings. John Griffin is the creator, stars Harold Perrineau, Catalina Cedino Moreno, Pega Gafuri, and many others. But this is a horror show that is written by the same writers that wrote Lost. And Max and I have gone back and forth on this quite a bit. Lost is one of our favorite shows, and there is a ton of similarities between Lost and From. So if you enjoyed Lost, this is definitely a show that you are going to want to check out. Once again, MGM Plus exclusive. So you have to get like, that Amazon Prime add-on or something similar to be able to watch it. But highly recommend checking this one out if you haven't.
And if you haven't, you're done. Good to see you. See you later. If you have, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it. So here is your official spoiler warning.
Yep, there we go. It's there. You're good. We're good. Get it out of here.
Here's your official spoiler warning for the whole show, including season 4, episode 1, the premiere of the season.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
So we were talking pre-show about this. I really think this has a chance to be one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And it's going to end in 2 seasons. So this is episode 1 of season 4, and then it has one more season after this.
They just announced that this month, I think they announced.
Yeah, they did. They just
season
announced
is
it. So I think part of the reason it has such an opportunity is because they haven't been able to waste their budget because they've been on MGM. Ironically, I think the MGM thing has helped them a ton. I think the unknown actors, aside from Harold Perrineau, has really helped them. The rest of these actors are essentially nobodies. And you talked about this in the pre-spoiler thing before we get into the episode. They've said they've had a roadmap from day one. So we're going to find out if that roadmap is going to come to fruition here.
Which, to be completely honest, this is my opinion, and I know Max does not agree with this and is a much bigger fan of Lost than I am, but I think that was Lost's problem.
Yes.
Is that they started out with a great premise, a great starting point, and then they just kind of like lost, pun intended, sight of what they were doing. And seasons like 5 and 6 just kind of go off the rails, and that's when I start losing interest in Lost. But those first 2-3 seasons of Lost are some of the best television ever created.
But everybody agrees that From is good. That's the other thing. I don't know anybody that's watching From that's going, oh, this show's bad. So if you're at this point, you're with us there too. Look, I loved how season 3 ended, how we saw that Julie can time travel with these abilities. We saw that Fatima's birth of Smiley was horrific and terrifying and gross and hopeless. And they explore that in this episode, right? We see the man in yellow and we're like, who the heck is this guy? What is his purpose? I think he's been around the whole time and we just haven't noticed. I think he was Tilly in the first 2 seasons. That old lady who died in that weird way. I think there's a scene in season 1, I believe, where Julie goes outside and somebody goes, what? Don't you recognize me, Julie? I think that's him talking to her. So I think he's been in the frame the whole time. And so I'm really interested to see how they explore that. There's great opportunity there. And then obviously the big reveal, I think, of last season was that Christopher was Jade and that Tabitha was Miranda, which changes in my mind everything, right? Ankui meant remember. And so you get this idea and thought of reincarnation, which I don't know if I know of a show embracing that theme in my framework. I'm sure there's horror shows that have, I just don't remember it. Yeah, this episode was strong. If you watch this show, before we kind of dive into the nitty gritty, 6 out of 6, man. I mean, I'm getting tired of saying it. I'm getting tired of it. I don't have much to beat up this show about, Isaac. Like this show, every time I catch my breath and they make me think that I can take a break, they can't. Boyd's losing his marbles, and I don't blame him. He watched Kenny's mom die last season in a horrific way. He thought that they had a chance to beat these guys, and now they don't. Smiley, he's been reincarnated. the man in yellow, they don't know it yet, but killed Jim. I think in the trailer they said there's like a bag. I think they put his body in a bag. I think the man in yellow will pose as Jim sometime in this season too.
Ooh, that would be
And try to
wild. Yeah.
trick his son. So I'm really looking forward to how that goes.
hmm
And I think we're in for some really big like revelations. And Isaac, I texted this to you. I don't know what's going to happen every episode. This show, there is no way to predict this show. We do not have sufficient information to make a prediction because I did not have on my bingo card, oh, the man in yellow is a shapeshifter who's going to pose as a young girl, pray with Kenny,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
kill the priest at the end of it. The priest didn't say a word. Whole movie.
Nope.
Whole episode, excuse me. Dude, I can't think of there has never been a show like this. Like I've compared it to Lost, and now I'm at the point as I don't have anything else compared to.
Right. The crazy thing too is this show still, even though there's absolutely no way that you could predict anything that's going to happen, you still can look back at the rest of the show and you're like, wow, like holy crap. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were telling us these things. Like
Yep.
there's a scene in the very beginning where the priest like rolls up to the tree and he gets out of the car and he's like looking around like confused, and then it cuts to the rest of the episode and you're just like, okay, like whatever. And then when we kind of finally get that reveal that the man in yellow is the girl and we get that scene of like him picking her up, that scene plays out again and she's not in the car initially, right? Like that happened after he initially came up to the tree, and it showed that in that first clip, but you would have never known, right? Like you would have never known.
Well, in the brilliance of making him a priest, because of how the first couple seasons went with the priest that had been in the season before, I'm forgetting his name at the top of my head.
Yeah, right.
Father Kotri. Because Father Kotri is in the series, excuse me. We were like, oh, they're bringing another priest back. Brilliant. My focus was on the cloth, not on who could be in the car with him.
Right.
And Sophia is the name of the girl. Who knows where she was in? And her line is freaky at the end of it. She's like, this is my favorite part when they all turn on each other. I wholeheartedly believe they're all going to turn on each other.
Gosh.
Because what's she going to do? She's going to be a shapeshifter. So now they're not going to be able to, once they figure out that shapeshifters are among them, how do they trust they literally will be unable to trust each other.
Mm-hmm.
As if this show couldn't be worse. As if like the situation they're in couldn't be any worse.
Yep.
I mean,
Right.
Boyd is counting his bullets, and I'm sitting there going like, that makes a lot. I have never in the history of any cinema looked at something and gone like, that's a pretty logical move right there. That's where this show's got. I am a pastor, guys. I have a deep sense of hope and theological morality, and I 100% understood what this guy was thinking.
So
in this
speaking
moment.
of hope, like this is the first episode too where Boyd in the previous 3 seasons has gone off the rails many times. Like he's like, desperate. Yep. He's like gone crazy. He's been charging out into the woods to like confront all these things. And this is the first episode that we see him lose hope. And it is frightening. And we get that confrontation with him and Ellis, and it's like the rest of the people can't see you like this because everything here is going to go to crap if they see you, the one guy that can't lose hope. That just can't happen. And the beginning of the episode when he finally goes down into those catacombs and sees Smiley be reborn again, that's it for him. He's like, we can't beat these guys. I don't know what else to do, so I guess I'm just gonna
I don't think he's wrong. I don't think they can. I think he's right. I think the only way they get out of this is because I've read and honestly, I can only read theories. I have nothing to give people here. I have nothing to give you. There are so many smarter people right now. Maybe you shouldn't listen to our review based off that. I don't know. Here's what I'll say. The best take I have is, well, there's 2 takes. One, if you sacrifice your child or kill a child, you join the monsters. So this makes a lot of sense why people have lost their marbles and tried to kill kids in this series, right? So like that makes sense why they've tried to kill the young boy. Mm-hmm. Additionally, my thought is if they remember their kids, do they need to kill the man in yellow to escape? or do they need to kill Smiley to escape? So like,
Hmm.
what do they need to do to escape? Because Tabitha escaped, right? And
Right.
if she killed Tilly, because the thought was that Tabitha killed Tilly, right? The old woman, that weird thing happened. Did Tabitha do it? If she did, then she escaped. Is that the rationale? Like, I don't know. And the kids are the ones that are helping Tabitha get out. And at the time, you're like, this is scary. But I've got nothing. I don't know how they get out of this jam. I don't know. This dude, Isaac, this could end with all of them dying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This
For
could
sure.
legit end with like,
This is one of those series too that along with you, I have no idea where it's going, and I don't even really want to conjecture because I have no inkling.
yeah, an egg will be on my face if I even make a prediction. Because
Right.
I couldn't predict that a guy would be placed in the side of a pool.
That was wild, dude.
That's
That was
buck wild.
one of the craziest parts.
I couldn't
of
have
that show.
predicted that. Like, I can't predict that the inside of the monster was going to be nothing. I can't predict that the trees would be moving an inch every few days. I can't predict that a tree with a hole in it would take me to a lighthouse.
Can't
I mean,
predict
there
that
are
Fatima would give birth to
Yeah,
a reincarnated monster. Like,
nowhere
what
on
the
my
heck?
bingo card. You give me 100 guesses. I'm not picking, oh, she's giving birth to Smiley.
Not
Like-
just one of the monsters.
Or Julie, who was tortured 2 seasons ago. Who else has special powers? Do the other two, the nurse and the gentleman with the guy, I forget his name too, with the cut on his side of his face,
Yeah.
do
right.
they have powers? Like, I think they might have powers, and that might be the reason why they were being tortured. Who was the old man that Boyd ran into? I've got no clue what's going on here. What's the tree mean? What's the town like?
Oh,
What was the
man.
town like before? What started all this? Like, there is so much to answer. And that is my fear with this show. If I have one fear outside of the things I'm watching, it's can they land this plane?
Mhm, right.
And they're already hedging their bet, just like Lost season 5.
hmm
Everything that happened. They're saying that. They're saying you can't go back and change it. So my question is, can they change it from the future? Like, can they find out something about the future and change it from the present? That's my question. Because where Lost explored, you can't go back in time and change it. Is Julie going to have the ability to go in the future and go back to the past and change something? Or go back to the present, excuse me, and change something? I think that's the question. And the biggest question of the series is, what is this timeline? Who is this guy in yellow? Is he one person? Is he part of an entity? Was he the one that called Jim in the first season? Remember when they had the radio? And Jim, you shouldn't have dug that hole, because that's the first thing he says to Jim when he sees him. My assumption is that's who it is. I have no idea.
Well, like, and you knew that somebody was behind this whole thing from previous seasons with the whole radio thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The man in yellow, who we still know absolutely nothing about, just randomly shows up, and we're like, okay, I guess this is the guy, but we still know nothing. We still have zero clue what everything is about, who this guy is. We got nothing. And I'm I'm still in absolute awe at how this show continues to just shock you. Like we mentioned previously, like in The Boys, like that's kind of
Yeah.
their thing, is like shock you, shock you, shock you, shock you, shock you. Eventually you get tired of being shocked, right?
Mhm.
This show, I have not gotten tired of it. I can't get tired of it. I have to keep watching. I don't know.
I don't even know if I've got fatigue. I think I've just got fear. And that's where, like,
of what's gonna happen next.
the
right?
humor versus the fear element could be a key in this too, right?
True.
I wonder, because I'll try to predict something because we're doing a show here. Does this end with Ethan being revealed, that's the little boy, as the man in yellow? I think the man in yellow is someone we know. I feel pretty good.
Ooh.
Like, or is
Yeah.
Boyd the one that's tortured? He's the main protagonist of everything. How many of them have been reincarnated? That's the other part.
Mhm.
Is everybody there reincarnated? Is it essentially
Maybe,
the same 100
right.
people over and over and over? And they were the ones back in the day. And so they go and live a life. And like, we haven't even really made the full connection of, like, we've known location where everybody's from, but do we know timeline of where everybody's from? And the
True.
show is called From. I really think these are great questions to ask. Man, MGM, you got a chance to immortalize yourself with this
For
show.
real.
You guys have a shot to be the unequivocal best horror show ever. I mean, I did a Google search pre-show of best horror shows. American Horror Story, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, The Twilight Zone, Supernatural, Twin Peaks, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Tales from the Crypt, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina that came out a few years ago, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Bates Motel, Dexter. This show's in that group.
Oh, absolutely.
This
Yeah,
show
out
is
of all
easily
those,
in that
yeah.
group. I'm taking From over Supernatural all day long. I'm taking From over The Walking Dead, especially with how that show ended. Stranger Things, depending on how you interpreted the most recent season, you could make that fight. Twin Peaks, that's got a huge cult following. I'd be interested to see what that group says.
Mhm.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer is it's horror, but it's a different genre.
Right. Yeah.
I really believe that if this show can land the plane the next 2 seasons, this could be the greatest horror TV show ever. That this could be one of the greatest TV shows of all time. That this show could do what Lost didn't and be the Lost that it was supposed to be. And if it does it with this cast on this platform, with essentially the same writers, Jeff Pinkner, Jack Bender, if it can do it with that group who essentially had a whole nother go at it, and Harold Perrineau, who is essentially known for being in Roots and Lost as a background character, taking the main protagonist role and absolutely crushing it. That guy should win an Emmy for this. It's
for
insane
sure.
that he hasn't won an Emmy for this. There's so many. I mean, the one who plays Donna should be Granny Goodness in a DC Universe movie.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
She is so good in this movie. I mean, this is one of those shows that, like, Elizabeth Sanders, Eon Bailey, who plays Jim Matthews. Sorry, I just want to make sure I give these people props.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hannah Cherami, who plays Julie Matthews. Catalina Sandino Marino, who's playing Tabitha. Pega Gafuri, who's playing Fatima. I mean, Scott McCord, who plays Victor. Ricky He, who's playing Kenny. These all need to be mainstream actors.
You say any of those actors, and I've never heard of any.
Cordian Moore,
besides
who's
Aaron
playing
Perrineau,
Ellis, right? I mean, like, Elgin. Nathan D. Simmons, who's played Elgin. Unbelievable work by him. Avery Conrad, who played Sarah. She's terrifying.
Yep.
Chloe Van Landshoot, who's playing Christy the nurse. We are looking at essentially 10 actors who are, their livelihood is this show. This isn't like most actors who, like, they can hop from show to show. I legit think this is their livelihood. And I think they're acting that way.
What's going to happen is this show is going to end. It's going to be fantastic. It's still going to be underrated and people are not going to know about it. It's going to come to Amazon Prime or Netflix in like 5 years. And then there's going to be a cult following that just reappears, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, we didn't know this show existed. It's the best show of all time. It's going to be this like huge revival of From 5 to 10 years after it finishes. And people are going to finally appreciate it for how good of a show it is. Because unfortunately, MGM Plus, this is it. Like, this is all it's got, honestly. It has movies because obviously MGM is, you know, a pretty well established studio from many, many years ago. But like, original content wise, this is all they got.
Dude, this is their marketing campaign for MGM is From.
Yeah, right.
It's From. Like, this is, I would argue, of all the shows we're talking about, and I love Daredevil right now, I'm tolerating The Boys. There's a lot of you're talking about the Star Wars shows that are coming out these days. Dude, this is it. This is like the show. I will stay up late and watch this by myself in the basement, terrified and just cold sweat. I'm all in. This is the show.
In a insane year of television, we have gotten so many good television shows. This is going to be top 3 for me for sure. And it very well could be number 1 on my list. I mean, I still have For All Mankind that I've really loved.
That's a good show too. Yep. Good call. Yep.
That's coming out this year as well. But honestly, I could 100% see this being number 1 on my list this year because it is just that good of a show in the previous years. This episode does nothing to dissuade me from that opinion. I mean, it's incredible. Like you said, 6 out of 6. I don't even know what else to say about it. Like, it's
Harold Perrineau. What are we doing? What are we doing not getting this guy more mainstream?
Yeah.
This is his best role. He was born to play this role.
Absolutely.
He is such a tremendous actor. I know he's been in Romeo and Juliet. I know he had a small role in Matrix, but come on, guys. Like, it's time. It's so time. Like, he needs to be in the next Black Panther movie. We need to get this guy some mainstream work. This is unacceptable. He has been in this for far too long. Everybody on From deserves big roles. I hope Marvel is taking notes. I hope James Gunn is taking notes.
Right.
A24. I hope all these
but
people
everybody else in the cast as well. This show deserves Emmy consideration for sure, but it's unfortunately not.
I don't understand. What does this show have to do? The acting's there, the storytelling's there, the editing's there, the cinematography's there. What does this show have to do? Everything's clicking on this show.
Visual effects too, like
everything.
Everything.
The monsters look great. Like, I legit don't know what this show has to do. MGM needs to sell this show and then sell their platform.
That's what it comes down to. Is like, I don't know if MGM is even promoting it to the right people or whatever you want to say it. But
and the name, and God bless, the worst thing this show did was the name. From is a terrible hashtag.
That's true. And it's not easy to say. It's like, you don't even know what.
Are you watching the show? What's the show? From? What do you mean from? From where? Yeah, man. I really, if oh man, Isaac, if this one crashes and burns, we're going to be
in pieces for a while if this one.
Oh yeah, this is going to be This Is Us times 100 for me if this thing goes wrong.
Oh yeah,
this is going to be
Max
WandaVision
in rough shape when This Is Us crashed. Yep.
Oh, This Is Us and WandaVision, man, those two shows broke me.
WandaVision was legendary for our podcast for sure.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
I might give up. If this is like, in the sense of like, I might give up of TV. I might never watch another show, because if this show breaks me and has just the flattest ending or just convoluted gobbledygook, I'm going to be a mess.
Yeah. Oh, we have taken up quite a bit of your time. So we're going to close up this episode. But if you have any thoughts on where the heck From is going this season, let us know. The Infinity Bros podcast or the Infinity Bros podcast at gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts on episode 1 and the rest of the season. We are very excited to hear more. So, Max, thanks for joining me, man. It's been a blast.
Thanks for joining me, Isaac. And man, I'm pumped. We're at a good stage right now of our show. We got
Daredevil
a lot of good
Born
stuff
Again
to talk about.
and From.
Yeah.
This is like a dream episode for
feels
us.
Like we're back. Feels like we're back.
We're back. Yes.
We're back.
Can't wait. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, thank you for making us a part of your podcast experience. We love you 3000. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at The Infinity Bros. You can also check out our website at theinfinitybros.com for links, reviews, and sweet merch. Feel free to send us listener feedback via social media or email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.